Hey, what's going on, guys? Back again with another day trading recap. I'll be going over the short trade I took on ES here soon, but I'm going to go over this Bible verse first. Today I picked Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verses 9 through 11. What do people really get for all their hard work? I have seen the burden God has placed on us all. Yet God has made everything beautiful for its own time. He has planted eternity in the human heart, but even so, people cannot see the whole scope of God's work from beginning to end. This verse, or this whole passage, basically is just about reflecting on the futility of human endeavors and questions of if hard work and effort yield lasting gain in a world marked by impermanence and uncertainty that we live in nowadays. Verse 10 suggests that the burden of labor or work is all meaningful within God's design, even when we don't understand what's going on or the purpose for it to us. He has a plan for it all, and that everything we go through is for a reason and all a part of God's greater plan. We as humans naturally like to, we long for meaning, permanence, and understanding beyond the temporal world, but we cannot fully comprehend God's work from beginning to end. The tension that basically leaves us with of the human longing and divine mystery encourage us to stay, humble, have humility, and trust in God. Even when the labor does seem burdensome or fruitless, it can be approached with diligence, gratitude, trust, and just overall just believing in God's timing. Life events, including hardships, have purpose, and um, they will be revealed to us within time. We should just live with faith and patience in God. Now, tying this to trading, basically, trading operates in God's um, timing and order. His success or failure is part of His providence, not solely the result of human skill or market condition. Nothing that we try to do, all the amount of effort that we try to put in, or a certain market condition, whether it's high volatility, low volatility, um, is not us putting in the work. We have to trust and believe in God's timing. We can want something, and if we're not prepared for it, God won't give it to us. Um, no trader can comprehend the work God has done from the beginning to end. This humility will prevent us from overconfidence in our trading, from predicting market outcomes, from getting in early to a trade that we didn't have an edge for. It just encourages us to trade with God's wisdom rather than our own self reliance on our plan. God's wisdom, the discernment, the patience, the trust in ourselves, the lack of greed, the full self control that we should have. That's what God's wisdom is. That's the godly wisdom that we need to have. So, my bad. Sorry. Back. And it calls for contentment with the present circumstances, and just trusting in God's plan, even when our results or our outcomes aren't exactly where we want them to be. They're exactly where we are. They show us where we're at and what we can do to continue to learn and grow. Um, Basically, I kind of picked this one because I just needed to fully understand that, I've been trading for about 7 to 8 years, and the first couple years I've lost probably 10 to 15, maybe even $20,000. I mean, I've lost. I remember putting in my first year $5,000. I made another 5,000, and I lost all 10. Then just slowly have been adding money into my account. The past couple years, I know that I've added in less amounts. I've been trading with smaller size because I started out trading options, um, because I thought I know what I was doing, and then I slowly moved over to futures. Started using footprint charts and candlesticks, and just the past about 2 years to 1.5 years, I've been using Bookmap, uh, Gamma X, Gamma Exposure. I just started using a couple months ago. I started using um, I truly started using volume profile also a couple months ago as well, with value areas, and I truly started using Bookmap again, like actually looking and finding real edge past couple months as well. So I've been using order flow for a couple years, but I've been adding in more and more and truly getting deeper into an edge. And I'd like to think that this past year, I've probably lost the least amount of money I've ever lost. I've made lots of money throughout the different trade endeavors that I've done, but I think that this kind of just goes to show that um, God will make everything beautiful in its own time. Now, I've been working for 7 years, and I'm not consistently profitable. I have profitable days, but then I also have those days where I make poor decisions and um, avoidable mistakes in these trades. But at the same time, um, all the trades that I do take, just recently, probably about the past year, a lot of the losses that I've been taking have been helping me refine my edge to a more sustainable and long lasting, consistent edge. And it's all in God's plan. I mean, if I were to have gotten my trading success, say years, years ago, even months ago, and gotten large amounts of money, I would have blown it all. I mean, I make simple mistakes that can be changed, but with a larger account and when you're risking more capital, you know, like a couple trades ago, I moved my stop loss. Had I been risking, two, three, 4,000 point or two, three, four, $5,000 per point, I would have lost 15, 20 grand. And, you go on spirals, revenge trading, and this basically just goes to show us that I've been praying and working at it for 7, 8 years. And 7, 8 years ago, I thought, this is it. This is the time. This is when I'll be successful. And we don't see God's plans from beginning to end. We don't understand um, what He's doing through us. Trading has brought me money, but it also has brought me growth, mastery in myself. I mean, the self control, the patience, the discernment, just being able to learn about myself, my lack of things that I was missing in my life, and for my personality, it's helped me grow mentally, emotionally, and physically. One into I imagine a more godlier man. It's helped me with lots of different things. Just be perseverance day in and day out. Whether I'm winning or losing, I get up in the morning. I pre-plan. I have levels planned out, plans made. You know, the self control. I mean, I could get in and out of the market anytime I want, and sometimes I won't trade for 6, 7, 8 days in a row. Sometimes I'll trade 3 or 4. Trading is something that God has placed within me to continue to work and do this stuff. I may not be fruitful, and some days I may feel like it's a burden to try to get the videos done or review trades and go over this or that. But in the very end, we don't see God's work. We don't understand at the very beginning, and we won't understand until the very end. Basically, all of this hard work and effort that I've been putting in, has one, yeah, I've grown closer to becoming consistently profitable in trading, but it has grown me so much as a person. And so I kind of just like this because 7 years ago, I never would have imagined I'd be who I am today because of all the hard work I put in trading. Um, and basically, I just trusting God with His endeavor. The past like 4 or 5 years, I've really put my trust into God with this endeavor. So that's kind of just why I picked this. He'll make it all beautiful in His own time, and I'll just go over the trade today, and you'll see different things. This is another small thing that I messed up on today. Basically, I was looking for shorts as we hit the 76.26 level. It was a untested volume point of control and value area high, and also aligned with a ES call resistance, gamma exposure levels for SPX, SPY, and ES, large pockets of gamma. We're in a positive gamma environment with high amounts of total gamma. So, we're kind of just going to I wanted to see how we are going to react. I did miss a sell off this morning from that spot, filled lots of offers, um, showed one sign of absorption and then sold off, missed it. I was patient all day, and you know, the high of day delta I think was only like 5,700, and right now we're sitting at 6,500. And you just see we have these wall, just this wall of stacked offers up here. And I really like that. Just watching from the gamma exposure side, we were filling all of these offers. They were re-offering multiple times, and gamma was starting to build slightly lower during the day. I use Mentor Q just to see the gamma levels intraday and end of day, just to see how they grow or diminish. Um, and so I was watching this pretty closely. I wanted to see us rally up into these, stay below the high of day, but continuously see delta move up. Now, as you're going to see here, this 1001, let me see, it's about 1001.30. Yeah, that high at 76.20, and delta was at 6600 or 6650. Now, when we rally up, and I'm pretty sure we filled these offers right at the 22s through 23s. We'll see here in a second. Look at that. We had a 4 stack right there on the offers between 20 and 21. Look at that. All 100 lots, 99 or 96, 94, 100, 115. Now, this is where my mistake comes in. We're going to rally up. Look at that. Filling all those offers. Filling. We broke above this 1001.30, right? Equal high. Nope. Broke above right there. Bam. Broke above. And look at this delta. See how delta is only at 6100? Made a higher high in delta, or price, lower high in delta. Basically, it was showing us that we are having an exhaustion move at this point right here. But in my mind, all I could think was we are above high of day delta. Well, we're making a lower high. Now, kind of right. I mean, look, we made a lower high right here, made a higher high in delta, but I kind of had blinders on. I did not take into account we had the 6650 delta right here. This is more like an exhaustion, signs that exhaustion could be showing up in the market, right? I seen on the footprint large buyers and large sellers stepping in, so selling starting to hit the tape, and I get short. Bam. Stop was only what, 4 points? Yeah, it was about 4.5 points. Not bad. It was pretty good entry. If we had delta, say, our delta was like 67, 6800 at this 1003 when we filled these offers, right? Then that's a good sign of absorption. Right now, this is, signs of maybe buyers were being exhausted. But as you see all these stacked offers up here, you know, we're trying to fill this liquidity, or someone is trying to fill this liquidity to either, you know, fill a large offer. I mean, large order, trying to, target lower prices, or maybe it's just someone getting out of orders from, longs from earlier. And look, as we continue going down, offers continue stacking up. Now, in my head, I literally was thinking, one, it's 10 o'clock. We're making higher lows, delta's lower low. Lots of selling stepping in, failing to be rewarded. There's no liquidity down below, all this liquidity up top. You know, I had a feeling, right here. I was kind of like, I was like, I'm not sure. I feel like I should exit this trade. I started realizing, hey, delta made lower high, well, price made a higher high. That's exhaustion, not absorption. I like to trade absorption because it's showing us that lots of people are in the market. Price is still going down. Like, say like made a higher high or a lower high in price. Delta's making higher highs. All those buyers are being trapped. And if we aggressively have participants step in, bam, all those people getting stopped out, fuel to move down, and that's what I like to trade. This right here was more signs of an exhaustion move, and exhaustion isn't as good for me just because you know all it takes is for a buyer to step in and push that market up. All it takes is for one person to step in, and that exhaustion move becomes nil. Absorption gives me a better risk reward, better follow through on the trades usually. Now, granted, I got stopped out at 22s. High a day was only 26.25, and we sold off to the 80s. But bad entry, poor trade, another mistake learned.